It's just that day before the final results in any election that we have so much of difference of opinion over what's going to happen over the next 48 hours. And yes, that's the time of this election that we're seeing diverse comments coming in from all the sides. Let's take on the News Hour tonight the big picture view of the numbers coming in from all the states that have gone to polls, 5 states that have gone to polls, so that we can look at the big picture of the politics that's coming up over the next several months. Well, let's first look at the poll of poll numbers for the most important and the most vociferous and fiercely fought battle of West Bengal. And these are the numbers, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen. You look at the number of polls that are being put up here, right from Times Now C-Voter, which gives 115 to BJP and 158 to Trinamool Congress, to the other side where there is the People's Pulse with 192 to the BJP and 88 to the Trinamool Congress. And look at the poll of poll numbers, 142 versus 136. It couldn't have been closer than this in an electoral battle, and therefore all the psephologists sitting, scratching their heads, looking at their models, looking at their margins of error, looking at their sample size, and looking at the conversion formula from vote share to seat share to find out if there was any mistake that they've made. But as of now, these are the numbers. 142 for the BJP, so the BJP getting the thumbs up in the poll of poll numbers. 136 to the Trinamool Congress, just about 6 seats behind. This is going to be a cliffhanger of an election in West Bengal. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of West Bengal, because we still have 2 numbers that still have to come in, the Chanakya poll and the My Axis poll. These 2 poll numbers, when they come in, we look at once again the updated numbers of the poll of polls, but even now it's in the favor of the BJP, just like the Satta market is. That is West Bengal for you. Let's go across to the state which is right next to it, the state of Assam. And here are the numbers for the state of Assam. C-Voter gives the UPA 59, the NDA 65. A bit of a close call, but definitely it is a clear victory for the BJP. And then again, you look at the poll of poll numbers. Most people, in fact, all of them giving the BJP a simple majority in the state of Assam. 72 is the poll of poll numbers, the highest being 80, the lowest being 65. My sense is, and I'm going to ask this question of Yashwant Deshmukh when he joins us, he's our pollster, on why he's been scrounging giving numbers to the BJP and the NDA alliances, because West Bengal, Assam, the same story. He's on the conservative side and of course giving the majority to the BJP. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the clear victory to the BJP. Let's now look at southern states of Tamil Nadu first. And Tamil Nadu, if you take a look, all numbers of polls and poll is out. The C-Voter gives 166 to the UPA DMK combined, 177 of P Markey, 185 by My Axis. So DMK, MK Stalin going ahead and making the government in Tamil Nadu. Not too much difference in the projections of the AIADMK, but yes, some consolidation of votes taking place for the BJP in this state. Will it find its green shoots that it has been looking for? Well, we'll have to wait and watch, but DMK, the clear winner in these elections. That's the poll of poll numbers. 174 for the DMK Congress and other alliance partners, 56 for the AIADMK BJP combined. That's showing up on your screens. Let's go across to Kerala and look at which way is Pinarayi Vijayan going. Are the corruption charges sticking with the chief minister? The gold scam, the fishery scam, the solar scam, so many issues were brought up, but the LDF making a clean win of this. Look at the diversity of the poll numbers that have been given. Again, 74 LDF by Times Now C voter, and on the other side it's 111. That's the range for the LDF, where my axis gives it 111 seats and a clear victory, and 28 to the Congress party's UDF. Where does that leave Mr. Rahul Gandhi? Well, it's something we will debate in just a bit from now. Now, after Kerala, let's go across to Puducherry, right next to Tamil Nadu, a small state, 30 seats assembly, and let's look at the Puducherry poll numbers. Puducherry once again going to the NDA, and 21 here Yashwant Deshmukh has been a little kind and given 21 to the NDA, 8 to the UPA. CNX makes it a closer call between NDA and UPA in Puducherry. So BJP ahead in Assam, ahead in Puducherry. It's a little bit of a cliffhanger in West Bengal, but look at the growth, and let's take a look at the takeaways, ladies and gentlemen, on what this means for the national politics picture that's going to come up with the results of these 5 states. And if we look at the takeaways, BJP has done well, just 2 seats short of the Trinamool Congress, and this is why we're looking at, well, I think we are looking at the deltaic region. We are looking at the overall, a second win that is coming up for the BJP, and this win clearly pushes up the tally for the BJP and shows that in Assam, sorry, the BJP, which had never made an entry till 2016, is now going to get a second term, an encore. So thumbs up for the BJP and the brand Modi model. As far as West Bengal is concerned, the BJP again doing very, very well, and that is why, as far as Bengal is also concerned, the BJP in pole position, looking at a victory, possible victory, because that is what is being predicted for the BJP. And let's take a look at it. Graph is on the ascent, and the party is registering a big jump from 3 seats, now projected to get 142. I don't know even how to count and calculate the percentage increase in the footprint of the BJP in Bengal. But the big question that Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi are looking at is whether they are going to swear in a BJP chief minister or not. Well, the jury out on that one. Let's take a look at Puducherry. Once again, the BJP enters small in the south from Puducherry, but it has an NDA government that it could be making on the 2nd of May, and that really is the big takeaway from the BJP. And in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, the BJP expecting to consolidate its position, and that could be a big move forward, and Modi looking at denting the image of Mamata Banerjee, who's known as fighter Mamata, fighter Didi, but the fact is that she's not really as invincible as she would have made it out to be. That is the big takeaway for the BJP. And before I move on, let me get in Dilip Ghosh, the very, very senior leader of the BJP. The BJP's president in West Bengal. Dilip Ghosh, thank you for joining me on the News Hour tonight. And what do you think about so many polls, most of them giving you, closer to the 120 to 130, but some polls, taking you closer and giving you an extra margin and a majority. Do you think it's going to be as big a cliffhanger as we are expecting it to be, or do you think it will be a sorted affair and there will be a majority whichever way it goes, BJP or TMC?
देखिए, एग्जिट पोल का रिजल्ट कुछ भी हो, एग्जैक्ट पोल में हम आगे रहेंगे और कंफर्ट मेजोरिटी से सरकार बनाएंगे। 2019 में लोकसभा चुनाव में भी किसी को उम्मीद नहीं थी कि हम 4% का पार्टी कभी 40% शो पर वोट मिलेगा और 2 पार्लियामेंट्री सीट से 18 तक पहुंचेंगे। माननीय अमित शाह उस समय हमारे प्रेसिडेंट थे, उन्होंने हमको 21 टारगेट दिया था, हम 18 तक पहुंचे थे। और इस बार उन्होंने 200 का टारगेट दिया है, हम 200 के आसपास ही पहुंचेंगे और पूरा मेजोरिटी के साथ सरकार बनाएंगे, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है। लोगों को उम्मीद नहीं कि कितनी इस बार चुनाव में जो एक मिरेकल होगा, लोगों का जो रुझान, लोगों की जो इच्छा शक्ति, इतने संघर्ष और संतरास के बाद भी लोगों ने भरपूर वोटिंग किया है, इससे पता चल रहा है कि लोग परिवर्तन के लिए वोटिंग कर रहे हैं।
दिलीप घोष जी, सबका ये कहना है कि ममता दीदी फाइटर दीदी हैं और फाइटर दीदी ने आपको चैलेंज किया है। आपका जो एक तरह से हुजूम बढ़ रहा था, सैफरन कलर करने की आप कोशिश कर रहे थे बंगाल को, उसको ममता बनर्जी जो फाइटर दीदी हैं उन्होंने स्टॉप किया है। क्या आप समझते हैं कि बीजेपी का जो सैफरन मैजिक है ममता बनर्जी रोक पाएंगी?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं है जी। चैलेंज तो हमने किया है। उनकी जो तानाशाह है, उनकी जो यहाँ भ्रष्टाचार है, उनकी यहाँ जो राजनीतिक हिंसा है, हिंसा की राजनीति, उसका चैलेंज, उसको हमने चैलेंज किया तो 145 कार्यकर्ताओं की हत्या हुई है हमारी। लोगों ने हम पर विश्वास किया है कि भाजपा ही परिवर्तन करके स्वराज दे सकता है, इसलिए इतना संघर्ष और हिंसा के बावजूद भी लोगों ने भरपूर पोलिंग की, वोटिंग की है। उन्होंने अपना स्टैंड चेंज किया। चुनाव को पहले उन्होंने बोला था हमने क्या क्या किया है। चुनाव शुरू होते उन्होंने ईवीएम को टारगेट बनाया, सेंट्रल फोर्स को, चुनाव कमीशन को टारगेट बनाया, और 4 फेज के बाद जब उनको पता चला कि वो हार रहे हैं, तब कोरोना को सामने ले आए एक बहाना के रूप में कि उनके ऊपर टिकरा फोड़ा जाए। तो इसलिए वो स्टैंड चेंज करते गए, तो हार चुके हैं जान करके इस प्रकार इशू बदलते गए। हम तो जिस ढंग से, जिस दिशा में चुनाव लड़ रहे थे पहले से, अंतिम समय तक लड़े और लोगों ने हमारा साथ दिया।
सौगतो रॉय जी मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट है, सीनियर लीडर हैं तृणमूल कांग्रेस के, और उन्होंने हमें टाइम्स नाउ पर बताया था कि बाहर से जो लोग आए हैं, ये बाहरी वर्सेस बंगाल के लोगों के बीच में लड़ाई है, और बाहर से जो लोग आए हैं वो कल्चर भी खराब कर रहे हैं बंगाल का, और वो ही कोविड भी लेकर आए हैं। और इसमें उन्होंने जो 2 लाख सेंट्रल फोर्सेस थे उनको ब्लेम किया है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी को ब्लेम किया है, और उन्होंने कहा है जो पंडाल और उनकी रैली के लिए बाहर से लोग आए थे उन्होंने कोविड फैलाया है बंगाल में। इनके चार्जेस के बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे?
नहीं, देखिए, जब ये चुनाव हार गए, मैं बताया ना, टारगेट उनका चेंज हो गया। अब प्राइम मिनिस्टर, होम मिनिस्टर अगर यहाँ बाहरी हो जाए तो फिर ये क्या बांग्लादेश बन चुका है क्या? वो तो प्रोफेसर है, वो जानते हैं, कम से कम सोच विचार करके बातें करनी चाहिए। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी ऑल इंडिया पार्टी है, हमारे नेता हर जगह जाते हैं, हर प्रदेश में जाते हैं। और आज क्यों यहाँ कोरोना यहाँ इशू बन चुकी है? चुनाव तो 1.5-2 महीना से चल रहा है। अगर कोरोना इशू होता तो आज महामारी हो जाता हूँ। जिस प्रदेशों में सबसे ज्यादा कोरोना, वहां चुनाव भी नहीं, रैली भी नहीं है। दिल्ली जैसा है, महाराष्ट्र जैसा है, छत्तीसगढ़ जैसा है। इसलिए इनके पास कोई तो बहाना चाहिए हार का, और बहाना तो इसलिए इसको ला रहे हैं। यहाँ की जनता परिवर्तन चाह रही है, कोई डर नहीं किसी का मन में, ना गुंडों का, ना पुलिस का, ना कोरोना का। लोगों ने भरपूर वोटिंग किया है, पूरा विधि विधान के साथ किया है। जिन्होंने जिस ढंग से शुरू किया था, लक्ष्य तक उस पर लड़ नहीं पाए, इसीलिए वो अब लीग से हट रहे हैं और इशू दूसरा ला रहे हैं सामने।
Well, thank you very much, Dilip Ghosh, for joining me on the News Hour. We'll see what the final results on the 2nd of May are. पर इस वक्त जो पोल ऑफ पोल नंबर्स बता रहे हैं, ये बहुत नजदीकी लड़ाई है, 142 versus 136, and that's where the Bengal story. Let's take a look now what our big message, the national message coming out of these elections is, and look at the message for the Congress party. In Assam, despite stitching a grand alliance with the one untouchable AIUDF, the Congress party still falls behind. And not just AIUDF, the fact is Priyanka Gandhi, now a second state where she goes campaigning and comes out with losing the state after Uttar Pradesh. In Tamil Nadu, the Congress party and its alliance may be winning, but look at the Congress's role. 25 seats out of the 175 that the alliance is winning. 25 is what they were contesting, and that shows how marginal the Congress party is in Tamil Nadu. In West Bengal, well, it's completely routed. 6 to 14 is the maximum range that the alliance gets. How many of these will be for the Congress party? Possibly 1, 2, 3. That's the single digit, lower single digits that many polls are expecting for the Congress party. And that really shows that it is a party that's losing its national presence. And look at Kerala. Kerala, when there were allegations of corruption against Pinarayi Vijayan, the left poster boy in Kerala as the chief minister, Rahul Gandhi moving into Kerala, choosing his parliamentary seat from Wayanad, now cannot even win an election in Kerala, especially at a time when Kerala is one state which always alternates the two alliances. LDF one time for 5 years and then the UDF. Rahul Gandhi can't even capitalize on anti-incumbency and the set formula in the state for 3 decades. And that really brings us to the legitimate question on the news hour. And ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question is brand Modi still right on top? After these elections, is the saffron expansion under brand Modi still a reality? That's the question and the debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining me tonight, Dr. Sambit Patra of the BJP. I also have with me Shehzad Poonawalla, lawyer, Anand Ranganathan, author, Sanjay Jha, suspended Congress leader, Baris Pathan of the AIMIM, Ghanshyam Tiwari. And I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, what are we expecting as the big takeaways of this election? Is it brand Modi intact? Where is Mr. Rahul Gandhi in all of this? Where is the opposition in all of this? Mamata Banerjee may just manage to give a fight if the poll is not as one-sided as some of these polls have shown. But Sanjay Jha, where is Mr. Rahul Gandhi going to be left after these elections? Assam, wipe out. Kerala, wipe out. Tamil Nadu, negligible partner. Puducherry, once again, Bori Bistar goal. Where is Mr. Rahul Gandhi going to be in national politics after all the tweets and all the salvos that he's fired against the Prime Minister?
Navika, before I answer the question, I do want to make one straightforward, unambiguous point on your show. Given the fact that we have 380,000 cases a day, historic, more than 3,600 people dead every day, and the kind of repugnant scenes of suffering of humanity over the last couple of weeks, I think brand Modi is probably a term that is now, frankly, is now over its shelf life. And I need to mention this upfront. This is not to comment on the international condemnation of the way India is handling the pandemic. I think every Indian today is affronted by India's political ecosystem. Now, let me answer you on the Congress part. If these projections hold...
that's a little rich, Sanjay Jha, that's a little rich if you're only going to accuse the brand Modi as responsible for this. What about the fact that Mr. Rahul Gandhi was campaigning in Kerala and the Kerala numbers have gone up? What about the fact that Mr. Rahul Gandhi went to West Bengal at a time when, cases were increasing in other states, even if not in West Bengal? What about Mr. Bhupesh Baghel, who's in charge of a state like Chhattisgarh, but was campaigning in Assam and looking after the Assam elections? What about Ms. Sonia Gandhi, who does not want to see the Maharashtra situation and wants to point fingers only at brand Modi? And what about the fact that everybody in the Congress, including Mr. Manish Tiwari, who said that Indians were being used as guinea pigs for the vaccine trials, today are actually going out there and fighting for vaccines first for their own state? How many Congress leaders have come out and demonstrated the fact that they have faith in the vaccination and will vaccinate themselves? How many of them? Is the responsibility not on them even for the states that they run? Mr. Sanjay Jha?
Navika, you have mentioned a wide galaxy of political personalities. Unfortunately, none of them is India's Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is just one man, that's Mr. Narendra Modi. And I have very often on shows actually thanked him for some of the good steps he's taken. But let me tell you, Sambit is here. His party passed a resolution saying that Mr. Modi was the hero for solving the COVID crisis. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the truth is that the buck stops at the top, and that's never going to change, no matter how much we try to spin it. But let me answer your question, Navika. Bottom line, if these projections hold, they will be disappointing for the Congress. But on the flip side, the Congress is not yet, I think, written off in Assam. I think in Assam, you can still find a surprise verdict on May 2nd. In Kerala, yes, the LDF will have bucked the trend, but that does not mean that the Congress is decimated. The difference is hardly any at all. In fact, I see that in terms of vote share, if I go by Yashwant's vote share, in Assam, it's a significant accretion. And even in Kerala, the difference is extremely marginal. In Tamil Nadu, there will be a UPA government. So the question is, there are two readings. Yes, the Congress's wipeout in West Bengal, that probably is a mammoth letdown. But the other story that we cannot ignore, that Kerala has rejected once again the communal ideology of the BJP. So has Tamil Nadu. And I think to my mind, that's a telling commentary that no matter how much BJP has worked hard, and remember, they have been at the center, Mr. Modi, Mr. Shah, their entire resources have been at it, but Kerala, Tamil Nadu are rejecting the BJP. Puducherry, yeah, I do agree, there is an entry, but we all know that the BJP had 3% votes in the last elections. So there are two messages as far as I'm concerned. One, that the Congress could be disappointed.
Well, Sanjay Jha.
Yeah. If Assam and Kerala doesn't come, even one of them doesn't come in its kitty, but the BJP being wiped out of the South, that also remains a manifestation of its political ambitions in the South being curtailed.
Well, and the Oscars for the maximum optimism goes to Sanjay Jha, suspended leader of the Congress party, because he's not even playing for the actual award. He's playing for a Congress कॉन्सोलेशन प्राइज एंड डॉक्टर पात्रा ऑस्कर्स तो मैंने उनको दे दिया क्योंकि वो तो कॉन्सोलेशन प्राइज के लिए लड़ रहे हैं, उनको तो प्राइज कहीं चाहिए नहीं. आसाम में उन्हें एक सपना नजर आ रहा है, किसी पोल वाले को सपना नहीं नजर आ रहा. एटलीस्ट इन बंगाल देयर आर डिवाइडेड पोल्स. इन असम नोबडी has said that the Congress is going to form the government. It's everybody who's saying that the NDA has a clear majority. But Sanjay Jha will talk about Assam. He talks about Kerala and Tamil Nadu where the BJP is not going to win. Well, वो तो सबको पता था, इसमें तो कोई आइंस्टाइन की जरूरत ही नहीं थी. And पुडुचेरी में कांग्रेस लूज कर रही है, उसका शायद छोटी स्टेट है, 30 सीट्स है. It doesn't matter to him. ऐसी गेम्स तो रोज राहुल गांधी हारा करते हैं. और बंगाल में लेफ्ट, कांग्रेस, फुरफुरा शरीफ के अब्बास सिद्दीकी, सब की वहां पे जो हालत कर दी है तृणमूल कांग्रेस और बीजेपी ने, उसके बारे में तो कोई गिनती नहीं है. तो डॉक्टर पात्रा जी, इनकी ऑप्टिमिज्म के लिए जो इनको ऑस्कर मिला है, इस पर आप क्या कहेंगे?
Congratulate my good friend Sanjay Jha for the optimism that he has shown. And let me tell you at the outset itself, no celebratory moves, no hubris, no arrogance. These are difficult times and we all have to be contained. We have to be extremely sensitive while we discuss the exit poll. Let me tell you, these are difficult times and of course the kind of optimism, the kind of positivity that Mr. Sanjay Jha has exuded is phenomenal. Everyone should learn from him. That despite losing everything, please don't lose your heart. That's what Sanjay Jha said. But on a serious note, there are few important issues psychologically that I want to mention. Number one, as far as Bengal is concerned, three very important takeaways in Bengal. I can over here challenge and say, come 2nd of May, the most important thing in Bengal that we are going to see is the UP effect. Remember 2016 Uttar Pradesh election results? No exit poll had predicted what was going to happen in Uttar Pradesh. In fact, it was a sweep, 325 seats. So there is going to be a kind of UP effect. Number two, remember two words, bhoy and joy. Bhoy means fear. As far as exit poll in Bengal is concerned, there is a sense of bhoy. And my good friend over here, our psychologist, could of course tell you that if they approach the people in Bengal, they outrightly do not say which party they are going to vote, especially if it is not the TMC. That is going to be factored in. And number two, the joy of voting Despite Corona, I salute the people of Bengal. They took all precautions. They came out in hordes. And more than 70-75% voting almost in all phases of election shows that people want change. And at the end, I would say, remember, no pollster, in fact, in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, had predicted that Bharatiya Janata Party would come anywhere near 18 seats. The best scenario that was given to Bharatiya Janata Party was 7 to 9 seats. And we did a feat of 18 seats. So please keep all these minds as far as Bengal is concerned.
Well,
I just wanted to
more numbers are coming in. My Axis poll also now gives in. My Axis poll also comes in with its numbers, and look at the numbers of My Axis poll. 147 for the BJP, 143 for the Trinamool Congress. And if you wanted to understand, ladies and gentlemen, what a cliffhanger is all about, it is in these numbers, and it is in the poll of poll numbers. 148 to the BJP, 132 to the Trinamool Congress. That is where the poll of polls is stacked. Left and the Congress average is about 12. They vary from 2 seats, 2 seats for 3 parties. And the highest is about 19 that is being projected by Yashwant Deshmukh of C Voter, but totally decimated. And I want to bring in Kakoli Das Dastidar. Kakoli ji, this is the number of the poll of polls. Yes, there are polls which are in the 115, 120 seats for the BJP, while Trinamool gets a clear majority in these. But most of the other polls are giving the edge to the BJP, some even giving the clear majority to the BJP. And if we look at the BJP's internal polls, there are 3 scenarios that they have projected. The BJP's internal poll, and that's the big news we are breaking at this point in time. The big news is coming in. 158 to 168 is the worst case scenario. The modest case is 185 to 195. And the best case scenario is 195 to 205 as far as the BJP's internal survey is concerned. Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar, I want to ask you, where do you stand after looking at all the polls that have given their projections tonight, most of them giving the edge to the BJP?
Don't you remember the poll of polls that we saw when the Delhi elections took place or the Bihar election took place, or in 2004 the prediction about Bharatiya Janata Party? Whatever was predicted for Bharatiya Janata Party in Bihar or Delhi, did it come true? So we don't believe in the poll of polls. We believe in the people. We believe in the people's mandate. And I'm telling you that Trinamool Congress will be more than 180 seats and Bharatiya Janata Party will not cross 100. Let us wait for the second, and then we will know that the people of Bengal definitely think ahead of times, and they are not one who believe in this kind of religious polarization. And also, the BJP has on their hands the murder of people. We call it murder through the COVID, because when the election started, then the daily count was 812. And today the daily count in Bengal is more than 17,000. So just because they spread the election over the 8 phases, which was absolutely unnecessary. The death of people due to COVID is on the BJP.
Wasn't the Trinamool Congress also campaigning? Wasn't the Trinamool Congress also campaigning? Did Mamata Banerjee cancel her road shows after the Prime Minister or before the Prime Minister? Dr. Patra, respond to Kakoli's charge.
I would request Kakoli not to shout and heckle me over here. I believe we need to be calm. Thank you. Navika, Kakoli is saying that we are the murderers. We were the ones who were responsible for the corona outbreak in Bengal. Let me tell you on 2 counts. First and foremost, as far as corona outbreak was concerned, please let's not blame the elections alone. Remember, the first corona cases were from Maharashtra, the worst hit state. From all those states which are probably never having any elections, Chhattisgarh did not have any elections. Secondly, and most importantly, thousands of those pictures where Ms. Mamata Banerjee was campaigning to the hilt. Thousands and lakhs of people. Till the last day of campaigning, she was holding road shows. She was holding rallies. Will you in fact fact point a finger towards Mamata Banerjee? Will you ask a question of us? And Navika, at the end, I will tell you one thing to all those people who want all these rallies to be cancelled. Let me tell you, last year in 2020, when in fact the Bihar elections were going on, there was a peak of corona, the Bharatiya Janata Party suggested the election commission, let's have only virtual rallies. RJD, Congress and all these political parties attacked the election commission saying that nothing doing. Because that time they felt that RJD and Congress will win the election. Today, since they realize that they are not going to win the election.
You know, Kakuli Ghosh, I want to ask you, if you were so worried about COVID, how many TMC leaders went out, took the vaccination and encouraged other people in Bengal to take the vaccination? How many of you did that? What was your responsibility in spreading awareness in
Hello? Can you hear me?
Mamata Banerjee did not attend the
See,
Prime Minister on COVID.
when in the month of February, don't interrupt, Mr. Patra. When in the month of February, the Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee wrote to the central government and particularly the Honorable Prime Minister asking for the vaccines. We still haven't received reply to that letter.
No. I'm not telling you about asking. How did you spread awareness? Did Mamata Banerjee go and tell people, I've taken the vaccine, you also take, this will protect you against COVID?
It is being given out from all the government hospitals, the municipalities and also private places. But when we ask for doses in 2 crores,
either Kakoli Didi cannot hear me or she's not understanding me or she's avoiding the question. And the question is simply this. How many Trinamool leaders have urged the population, the people of Bengal to go and get vaccinated?
I am not avoiding you. I'm just trying to tell you that the central government avoided us. They didn't reply to us when we asked for the vaccines for all the people. And Mamata Banerjee announced free vaccines. Mamata Banerjee announced free vaccination for 10 crore. We wanted 10 crore doses. And she announced that she was going to give it to everybody. And we have also taken everybody on board. We have been vaccinating people. We have been doing RT-PCRs.
Navika, please ask.
1 minute. Kakoli ji, you may have written a letter, but Mamata Didi could have raised the issue in a meeting with the Prime Minister, but she didn't. She didn't even attend the meeting. But Shehzad Poonawala, I want to come back to the national picture. I want to come back to the national picture because they will not admit, the Congress will not admit, the Trinamool Congress will not admit that the BJP at the moment is the most favored party to form the government in West Bengal, and it's winning Assam, it's winning Puducherry, and in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they were never a factor. Shehzad Poonawala.
So, Navika, and I hope, Navika, please, now, Ms. Kakuli Dastidar has to wait for other people to also speak. This is not the years of Trinamool Congress. Now there's Parivartan, and there's Parivartan in debate also. Now, first of all, Navika, as far as Mamata Banerjee's seriousness about COVID is concerned, on 19th April, she did an interview with one regional channel, and she did not even know 10,000 deaths have taken place on 27th February. She said, I don't have such information. She never attended a single meeting on COVID, only said, and one of her spokespersons of the party, Nusrat Jahan, had once said that BJP is more dangerous than Corona. This is the kind of seriousness they have. Today, the country is talking about social distancing from Rahul Gandhi, and those who are suspended or have suspended logic are talking about social distancing from Corona. You should. But let's talk about the social distancing people are doing with Rahul Gandhi. अरे गए थे Rahul Gandhi six-pack दिखाने और political आंधी में pack off हो गए हैं. Look at Mr. Sanjay Jha and his audacity of hope. He's saying that बीजेपी has not gained in South. अरे भाई पौंडीचेरी में सरकार थी खत्म हो गई, केरला में सरकार आनी थी कायदे से, वो नहीं आ रही है, तमिलनाडु में आप नॉन प्लेयर बन चुके, डीएमके इज स्वीपिंग विदाउट द कांग्रेस हेल्प, एंड यू आर सेइंग दैट बीजेपी का ग्रोथ नहीं हुआ. बीजेपी इज रिटेन्ड असम, बीजेपी इज ग्रोइंग इन बंगाल बाय एवरी स्टैटिस्टिक. In fact, some saying that BJP will sweep Bengal. BJP is actually going to power in Puducherry for the first time. They are opening their account in Puducherry and strengthening their base in South India after Karnataka. You're saying, where are they? They've grown in Kerala. They've grown in Tamil Nadu in vote share. You're asking, where is BJP? Today it is a referendum on your counterfeit secularism. AUDF के साथ alliance, Shiv Sena के साथ वहाँ पे alliance, नीचे जाकर IUML के साथ alliance with ISF in Bengal. This counterfeit secularism का पिंडदान हो चुका है. राहुल गांधी की पॉपुलैरिटी और उनकी डबल इंजन प्रियंका वाड्रा का आज पॉपुलैरिटी का पिंडदान हो चुका है. केरला में जहां पर सांसद है वहां पर जीत कर नहीं आ पा रहे. असम में जहां पर जीतना चाहिए था वहां पर नहीं जीत पा रहे. और तीसरा रेफरेंडम सीए का हो चुका. कम से कम संजय भाई अब सस्पेंड.
Well, you're talking about the Congress party, and let me get in Himanta Biswa Sarma. He is the contender for the chief minister's job in Assam, if the poll of polls have to be believed. And look at the numbers coming up for Assam on your screen. Himanta Biswa Sarma, thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight. And I want to ask you, with the BJP now being the favorites to form the government in Assam, from a complete non-player in 2016 to a second term for the BJP in Assam, what do you think has taken the BJP through this victory? Is it the contribution of your former leader in the Congress party, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and the other General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who campaigned in Assam? Himanta Biswa Sarma?
Navika, quickly I will attribute to the 4 points. First of all, Narendra Modi as Prime Minister of India has given first time a huge recognition to the northeast of India. Assam is now on the central map of India, whether it is a development or whether it is a human resource, whether it is expansion of railways or whatever you call. Modi ji has given lot of respect, and it has brought out Assam from a corner of northeast India to the mainstream or mainland politics of India, the development politics of India. Second, during the last 5 years, we have worked tirelessly for the people of Assam, including for the women. If you once result is out, you will see the way Muslim women has seen voting for BJP. It will create a huge kind of narrative. I personally believe that Muslim women has voted wholeheartedly for BJP in this election. Thirdly, people of Assam has seen the kind of divisive politics Congress has played. By aligning with Ajmal and UDF, Congress has betrayed Assamese people. People of Assam will punish Congress not only in this election, on many elections which will come thereafter. And finally, always I attribute any BJP's victory. I think that credit must go to Rahul Gandhi in any BJP's victory, because without Rahul, I think our seat would have been less than 10 or 5. In any BJP's victory, there is always a Rahul Gandhi's contribution.
Well, so a viewer and Shehzad Poonawalla before this both have written six pack Rahul Gandhi उड़ गए, पैक ऑफ हो गए इन द पॉलिटिकल आंधी. तो इस बार तो राहुल गांधी भी उड़ गए और प्रियंका गांधी वाड्रा आफ्टर यूपी. Assam again has been another state where her campaigning in the tea gardens and all the pictures that came from there haven't really worked. What is it about the Gandhi family and their campaigning which doesn't really connect with people, whether in Uttar Pradesh or in Assam?
Navika, first of all, Priyanka and Rahul thinks that India is still of the days of Indira Gandhi. They still believe that you will not go to a state in 5 years. And on the eve of election, you will go to a tea garden, click a photographs, and suddenly the Congress will start saying, look, Priyanka has visited a tea garden. Now everybody is going to vote for the Congress. But my friends in Congress must understand that there is another party called BJP who is working for the tea garden people 365 days. Here is a leader in BJP, Narendra Modi. Whether it is an election or not election, he has visited 48 times to Assam. So they are still on the days of Indira Gandhi, that you goes to a remotest corner of this country, have a picture with somebody, and then immediately vote starts swinging in your favor. I think India is not that India. It is a 21st century India where people will demand walks. People will not accept tourist politicians. Those days has gone, in my humble view.
But Himanto Dada, I want to ask you, in states where there is no Congress and that is becoming the story of the rest of India, when you come up against fighter Didi, fighter Mamta Didi in Bengal, the BJP has a strong opposition there, and it's not a cakewalk as it is against Rahul and Priyanka. What will you do when your dream of Congress Mukt Bharat comes true? Then you will have to deal with opposition of the regional parties, which is not as easy as defeating the Rahul Gandhi is.
Now, Navika, what Mamta Banerjee is doing, now she is championing a cause of a particular section of people. Now, don't you think that in 2016 election, BJP had only 3 seats in Bengal? Today we are talking about sweeping Bengal by BJP, forming government by BJP. I mean, you can see the kind of growth from 3 seats. Today BJP is in the reckoning for a power in a state like West Bengal, where traditionally BJP's organization was not that strong. I think everywhere people of India is now strongly against the appeasement politics, whether it is Assam and Bengal. And I am sure that not only this election, these people of India will continue to reject appeasement politics, because we want everybody should be treated as a human. Every poor should be treated with dignity. Why the religion comes in between? I think those are the takeaway from this election.
You
must remember
that's
that
a long
BJP
debate.
had
That's
only
a long
3
debate.
seats.
You have also used your Hindutva model. Now, the BJP is the last party which should be talking about a non-religion based campaign. But let's wait for the results. And Himanta Biswa Sarma, with these numbers, who's going to be the Chief Minister of Assam?
Navika, I think that question you should not pose to me. This question you should pose wherever you meet our Honorable Home Minister or Prime Minister again. Ultimately, it is the prerogative of Parliamentary Board, not mine.
Well, thank you very much, Himanta Biswa Sarma. Thank you for joining me on the News Hour, and may the best party win, and we'll see the real results coming in on the 2nd of May, and we do hope we can connect with you again on the 2nd of May. Coming back to Ghanshyam Tiwari and Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Ghanshyam Tiwari, to you first. On the national picture, it seems like the BJP's star is still on the ascent, whichever way you look at it. The fact that, everybody is saying Bengal is a cliffhanger. We'll have to wait and watch. Assam is firmly in their pocket, Puducherry firmly in their pocket, and whichever way you look at West Bengal, from 3 seats in 2016 to now possibility of forming the government is a huge saffron growth for the BJP. Ghanshyam Tiwari, will you acknowledge that?
Navika ji, on 1st March, the number of COVID deaths in India was 106. Today it is more than 3,200. More than 30 times growth. On 1st March, number of COVID cases per day in India was 15,000. Today it is nearly 3,80,000. I want to congratulate the Prime Minister, the Home Minister Adityanath, and all these leaders who have led India to this doomsday. No one has ever tried to win the election.
Why not Mr. Bhupesh Baghel? Why not Mr. Bhupesh Baghel? Why not Priyanka Gandhi Vadra? Why not Rahul Gandhi? Why not Mamata Banerjee? No, I have to only interrupt when you give dubious facts.
When the High Court is calling the election commissioner as murderer, do you want to side with the election commissioner? Do you want to stand with the election commission and say that yes?
Well, that's an observation not reflected in the order. That's an observation not reflected in the order. Not reflected in the order.
So no one in
कभी आप बोलते हो सेंटर की वजह से है, कभी आप बोलते हो इलेक्शन कमीशन की वजह से है।
No Prime Minister of India has led India to this kind of death for winning an election. So I congratulate Prime Minister Modi for taking India into the death trap of COVID. And right in the beginning, when Dilip Ghosh was mocking corona cases, I think each of us should have been outraged. On a day when we record 380,000 cases, you have Dilip Ghosh coming and mocking corona cases, saying that corona is a fake story. Shame on these people.
Then, 1 minute. May I come in? I want to give the last comment to Dr. Anand Ranganathan because I'm completely out of time. And Dr. Anand Ranganathan, this selective criticism on an election poll, you will only talk about corona, and on a corona poll, you will only talk about politics. Is this the way, we are going to be debating issues in this country?
Good evening, Navika. I've been waiting for 48 minutes, so very patiently.
I'm sorry
can I please
about
expect
that.
a courtesy?
I'm sorry about that.
Not at all. No, not at all. I'm just saying that if I can get a courtesy of 2 minutes from my esteemed panelists. There are very quickly 3 issues. First of all, I'm a little disappointed by my good friend Sanjay when he says that thankfully Kerala and Tamil Nadu seems to have rejected BJP. And by rejecting BJP, they have rejected polarization and communal bigotry. Does he mean to say that in Bengal and Assam, people have accepted communal bigotry? They are communal bigots. This is the same kind of thinking that led people to say that after 2014, India has become a fascist state. No, these are elections. This is the same. This should not happen. Number 2, I think if you look at Bengal, Navika, very quickly, it all hinges on whether it is a wave election or a non-wave election. Now, 2 of the 6 pollsters are convinced that it is a wave election. The other 4 are not. In my case, I think I'm a bit circumspect. I would still go with Yashwant, although my assessment would be much higher than what Yashwant says. But I stick my neck out and say it is a wave election. But what do I mean? That despite it being a wave election, the numbers would not be as high as the other 2 polls. Because if you look at the base of BJP has been traditionally so low, from 3 MLAs to 30 MLAs, and now we are thinking of 120, 130 MLAs. That means it is a wave. It is going to propel BJP to coming as close as gaining power in Bengal. And thirdly, I object to Dr. Sambit Patra when he actually is trying to shirk the responsibility away from BJP and Mr. Modi. Every politician in this country is culpable for the spread of the second wave. When he says that in Bengal people
You're
were doing
absolutely
rallies,
right on that one, Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Nobody is saying that the centre and the Prime Minister and the Home Minister and the Health Minister do not have the responsibility. But what people are forgetting is that this is selective targeting, which is unfair because Chief Ministers equally responsible. And that's the position that Times Now takes. I know, Waris Pathan, you're absolutely unhappy with me. 10 seconds. I'll make it up to you in another show, but 10 seconds to you, Waris Pathan.
Well, first and foremost, let me tell you, Navika, we did not contest Assam or other places. We contested only in West Bengal on 6 seats and in Tamil Nadu on 3 seats. And the polls have earlier shown that in Maharashtra, when there was MP election, you were showing that we are not getting any seat. But we contested on 1 seat and we won that seat. And I am hopeful even this time we will be opening our account in West Bengal because we are going there as a better option. Now, coming to Mr. Modi, as all my other friends have stated so, let me tell you, the people of the country have lost faith in the BJP. Modi has failed, and Modi has failed in performing his constitutional duty as a Prime Minister of the country. Modi has totally failed in performing the constitutional duty
the verdict
as the Prime Minister of this country.
The verdict is going to be given by the people of India, by the people of these 5 states, and we will wait for that verdict. Who knows? Who knows who's right? These are poll of polls. We'll wait for the actual results on the 2nd of May, and we'll see what the people's verdict is really about. Is it about supporting Prime Minister Modi or about supporting the opposition? That question will be answered by the people of India. So don't forget to join us on the 2nd of May, 6 a.m. onwards, bringing you the results and thanking all my panelists and all our viewers watching the News Hour tonight. Good night. But don't go anywhere because Padmaja Joshi is coming up next with a rapid analysis of what's going on in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and other states.
The news hour at 9 will be right back.